Hello everyone, in today's lesson we'll have a look at the Slovene letters and sounds. Let's start off by comparing the Slovene and English alphabets. The Slovene alphabet has 25 letters, and the English alphabet has 26 letters. There's a difference of one letter because the Slovene alphabet has 3 letters that the English alphabet doesn't, and doesn't have 4 letters that the English one does. Letters that are missing from the Slovene alphabet are Q, W, X, and Y, and the 3 letters that English doesn't have are Ch, Sh, and Ž. They're written as C, S, and Z with a small V on top. Pronounce them like cheese, shallow, and vision. It's worth keeping in mind that when talking about the alphabet, we're talking about letters and not necessarily sounds. After going through the alphabet, we'll learn an additional 3 sounds that don't have their own letters, but are written using the existing 25. So, let's have a look at the Slovene alphabet. A, B, C, Č, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, Š, T, U, V, Z, Ž. And now let's have a look at how the letter J is read in English and Slovene. There's no Y in the Slovene alphabet, remember? In English, the letter J is pronounced as J, for example, John or Janice. In Slovene, J is written with the combination of a D and a Ž, for example, džungla or jeep, which mean jungle and jeep. Y, on the other hand, is pronounced as J in English, for example, yellow or yogurt. In Slovene, we read the letter J as J, for example, jas and yogurt, which mean I and yogurt. Basically, whenever you see the letter J in Slovene, think of Y in English. A good example to remember is yogurt, because the word is essentially the same in both languages. The sound J is pretty common in English, but rare in Slovene. I can't think of too many words that have a J. I'd say the most common ones are džamija, džanki, jazz, jeep, and joint, joker, džungla, and Mađarska. And as you can see, most of them are loan words. Besides the letters Č, Š, and Ž, which are new to you, there will be additional symbols on top of the example words. They're called diacritics, and are practically never written in normal Slovene texts. They're the acute, grave, and circumflex. They're basically a line going up from left to right, a line going down, and an inverted V. They're practically never written except in rare situations when we want to avoid ambiguity, but they are written in dictionaries and sometimes in books for teaching Slovene as a foreign language to help you with the pronunciation. Anyway, just know you won't find them in books, articles, and so on. I thought about it and decided to include them since it can't hurt. If you by any chance find them annoying, then just ignore them because you'll do just fine without them. Basically, in Slovene, you learn the stress of a word along with the word itself. For now, view all 3 diacritics as the same. All 3 of them tell you which syllable is stressed, or in other words, which syllable you pronounce louder than the rest. You can just imagine text in bold instead of the diacritic. Take the word chocolada for example, which means chocolate. Compare chocolada to chocolada to chocolada to chocolada. Of all 4 syllables we can stress, only the 3rd way of pronouncing it is correct in Slovene. For now, just remember if there's any other symbol that's new to you besides the ch, sh, and ž, it's there only to help you know which syllable to stress. Let's move on to the alphabet. This time I'll read each letter followed by 3 example words. I'll read each word once to not make the video too long. You don't have to try and repeat them since you can practice pronouncing them in a separate exercise where they'll be repeated several times. A. Ampak, auto, avantura. B. Babica, bog, brati. C. Cesta, cena, copat. Č. Čokolada, čas. Čuden. D. Desni, delati, denar. E. En. Ekonomija, eleganten. F. Fant, fitness, firma. G. Gledati, glava, govoriti. H. Hiša, hoteti, hvala. I. In, is, isti. J. Jaz, jezen, jajce. K. Kmalu, kosilo, kje. L. Levi, lekarna, lačen. M. Mi, mesto, majhen. N. Nič, nor, narobe. O. On, ona, okoli. P. Prosim, prijazen, potem. R, restauracija, res, roka. S, semafor, samo, sok. Š, šola, šele, širok. T, tuširati se, trgovina, trebuh. U, umiti, ustaviti, ura. V, voda, veter, vesel. Z, zelo, zehati, zajtrk. Ž, že, žejen, ženska. Those were the 25 letters of the Slovene alphabet, but at the beginning we said we would learn 3 additional sounds. There's an additional sound represented by the letter E, and an additional one by O. There's also a sound called the schwa. We call one E closed and the other one open, and the same goes for O. So we can read E in 2 different ways, O in 2 different ways, and there's also the schwa. Here's how they sound like. E, e, o, Okay, so we said earlier that all of the diacritics are the same in that they tell us about stress. This is true, but if the stressed syllable has an E or O, they also tell us whether it's open or closed. If it has the acute, it's closed. The grave and circumflex both tell us to pronounce it as open. In this regard, the grave and circumflex are the same. So, let's say you learn a new Slovene word and it happens to have diacritics. If the vowel with the diacritic is an A, I, or U, then you know which syllable to stress and that's that. If the vowel is an E or O, then if it's an upward line, it's closed, for example, gledati or okoli and not gledati and okoli. If there's a downward line or an inverted V, they both mean the same. It's open. For example, on and ona and not on and ona. I know this is a lot of information at once, but like I said, you can just ignore all of it if you want to. You won't have diacritics in normal texts anyway. But if you take a little time to remember, it really might help you, and that's why I decided to mention it. Okay, since we made it this far with the diacritics, we might as well mention all of their functions. Keep in mind, you don't have to know this, and in my opinion, it's not important. I just like to give an explanation to anyone that's wondering why Slovene would have 2 diacritics with the exact same meaning. Besides marking stress, which they all do, and besides telling you how to pronounce the E's and O's, they also indicate vowel length. The acute and circumflex are long, and the grave is short. Here are some mnemonics that may help. The sound for the acute is the first stroke of a capital A, and if you're going downhill, you're going to your grave. Also, if you have a short life, you'll soon be in your grave. In my opinion, the distinction between long and short isn't important, but the difference between closed and open definitely is. You will stand out if you pronounce the E's and O's incorrectly, but nobody will notice the vowel length, and I'm pretty sure most people don't even know about it. So, if we go back and have another look. On and ona both have the open O, but in on it's short, and in ona it's long. It's the same with N and žejen, even though the difference isn't as obvious for me there. Again, this isn't important, just focus on properly pronouncing your E's and O's. Let's move on to the schwa. It's pronounced like the A in about or E in taken or broken, so it's the sound. It doesn't have a letter of its own and can be represented by E or R. Here are some examples of the schwa in Slovene. Pes, dež, trd, ljubezen, pesem, česen. Notice that what we said about the diacritics doesn't always hold true. You pronounce dog as pes and not pes, and the same goes for rain. It's dež, not dež. Don't worry about it, there will always be exceptions, and as with every language, there are certain things you'll just learn as you go along. There are too many rules regarding the pronunciation in Slovene, and it would do more harm than good to try and list them all. For the most part, you'll learn the pronunciation of a word along with the word itself. To be fair, it's like this in English too. Compare omnipresent to omnipotent and cough to hiccup. Let's just mention one thing regarding pronunciation that I think is worth pointing out. In Slovene, the letter L is often pronounced as U. This is as oversimplified as it gets, but I just wanted to point it out so you'll start noticing it sooner than you would otherwise. Here are 3 examples. The masculine form of the adjective white is bel. The masculine form of the adjective happy is vesel, and the masculine form of the adjective fat is debel. However, when we add a to form the feminine forms and the word doesn't end in L anymore, we pronounce the L as L, so it's bela, vesela, and debela. For now, just focus on distinguishing between the 2 E's, so E and E, and between the two O's, so O and O. And know that there's also the Schwa or sound. Also, if the word you're learning has a diacritic, make use of it to at least know which syllable is stressed. It can also help you with the pronunciation of E or O if they're found in the stressed syllable. It's important to study on your own. Come back to the video lessons as often as necessary, and keep in mind that the key is consistent self-study. One piece of advice when practicing speaking is to not be uncomfortable or self-conscious, no matter if you're talking to someone or saying words out loud by yourself. It's better to overdo it than pronounce quietly. Exaggerate, move your mouth as much as necessary to get the right sound. You can find exercises on the alphabet at abcslovene.com. The link is in the description. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'd appreciate your feedback, and you can always send me an email at info@abcslovene.com. Good luck, study hard, and aim for the stars.